Please excuse my face and my hair and my eyeliner, but you can't see it because of my hair, so that's okay, I guess. It's officially 3 weeks until Asylum 12, guys. I can't wait any longer. Can it be now? So I wanted to do something reasonably interesting for this video because last week was kind of boring. It was just a couple updates. So I wanted it to be a bit more exciting and stuff because my buddy Sophie over at Sophie L. White UK, go check her out, guys, go. She has come up with all these awesome ideas. I did talk about it, and yeah, so I was like, well, I want to do some more interesting stuff. So, but I didn't want to copy her too much. I mean, I'm gonna do two things the same as her. One I was already gonna do without her telling me she was gonna do it, and another one I was like, this is such a good idea, and I think it'll be really good for me to do it too. And obviously it's her idea. I'm gonna credit her on it. I'm not gonna say it's my idea because it wasn't. I wouldn't have even thought of it unless she had told me. So yeah, you'll find out. I was talking on the Asylum 12 group, and I was saying how I wanted to do something more interesting, and so someone suggested that I should do a do's and don'ts. I've already done tips, and it got really good reception, but they thought a do's and don'ts would also be quite helpful. It's not the best thing ever. I mean, I came up with it reasonably quickly because I was really busy today. I was going to do it in my lunch break or something, but no, I had a biology mock exam. We had a lunch break in the middle, so I was already looking up all the answers in the textbook. Education. So yeah, I have some do's and don'ts for autographs, cues, panels, and photo ops. Just things that I've heard from other people, and a few suggestions, and also just from my own experience as well. So yeah, enjoy, and I hope this isn't 5 hours long. Panels. Do go and ask a question if you want to. If you want to know something and you don't want to wait for a huge long-winded answer in the autographs because most likely you'll just get moved along, then the best place to do it is a panel unless you go to a coffee lounge, but coffee lounges aren't guaranteed. So yeah, it will be terrifying, I'm not going to lie. I've never done it myself because I am way too scared. I think they do it differently to the conventions I went to. Twilight conventions, they had a guy with a mic who walked around, you put your hand up, and then he'd come to you, pass the mic over. At Rogue events and Curation conventions, and I'm thinking Jib as well, I'm just talking about supernatural conventions here, there is a queue, and there is a fixed mic, and you go up and queue for it. I've heard also that the queue for the mic is a really good view of the stage, so if you want a really good view of the stage and you have a question, then it's perfect for you. Don't ask for hugs in panels. Seriously, don't do it. I know it's tempting, and maybe perhaps, not everyone can afford a photo with Jared Padalecki if he's £80 a photo, and I understand that, and I really do, and I really feel for you, because if I was going to a convention Jared Padalecki was going to, and I could not afford a photo with him, I would be absolutely devastated. But asking for hugs in the panel is really the easiest way for you to be disliked by many, many convention goers. It's a waste of time, there's not an unlimited amount of time in panels. It's supposed to be for asking questions about the show, possibly about them, and, it's to have a laugh and not to be selfish and say, can I have a hug, so they have to get off stage. And I've also heard that the guests don't really like it now anyway, because it's, like I said, it's wasting time, and panels are for them to talk about the show and possibly themselves, and that sounds really egotistical. And yeah, so they're not supposed to be having hugs. And I know that's really mean, but, I've heard that people have been booed when it's happened, and also it might encourage other people to do it, and it's just a bit of a mess. Do be creative and think outside the box. If you have a really creative question, a really one you think, this has not been asked before, then go for it. Just as long as it's not too crazy that they're going to either be like, what, or they're just going to be like, I don't want to answer this. I don't really have any examples. Don't ask inappropriate questions. I want to add to this, don't ask, really pointless questions, or maybe questions that sort of a thing that you'll understand but no one else will. At the Twilight conventions, there was someone asking a guest about something about what would they do if they had a pet rock called Fifi, and everyone was sitting there going, what? And all the guests were like, what? And it was just a complete train wreck because no one knew what the hell anyone was talking about over that, and it just, It could have been a bit more of an intelligent question in its place. Inappropriate questions, you know, don't ask people about fan fiction, or, you know, pester Jensen about STL, for example, because he doesn't really like it. He's not very comfortable with it. If he's not comfortable with it, then he's not going to like you for really saying it, is he? I'm just being honest here. You know, don't ask weird, really personal questions. I know people ask questions about their kids, but usually it's just like, how are they? That's just kind of okay, because, you know, people have asked questions about their kids before, as long as it's not weird stuff. You know, asking how they are is nice, and they'll probably like that. Photo ops. Do ask for a hug. If you want a hug, then ask for one. Most likely, I think like 99.99999% of guests will totally hug you back, and they will probably love it. And I've heard that Jared is a huge hugger, and he hugs everyone anyway. So, you know, I don't think you're going to have much chance of him saying no thank you. Apparently Jensen isn't so much of a hugger, so I'm not really sure about that one. But, you know, if you ask, then he can always, you know, the worst you're going to get is no. You're not going to get carried away by security. Most of my photos at conventions are me hugging people. I like hugs, and I like hugging actors I like I've hugged Amy Campbell Bower. Bet you're jealous. I've hugged Peter Facinelli. Unless you've watched Twilight, you probably don't know who he is, unfortunately. It's fine to ask for hugs. It's really, you know, it happens all the time. Don't faff around trying to think of a pose. If you want to do a really cool pose, don't just get there and go, oh, I don't know, because the photographer would just be like, right, stand, smile, take a picture, go, because they are rushed, especially if it's Jared or Misha. They are going to be really rushed anyway, so they're not going to appreciate you just standing there and going, oh my god, I don't know what to say. It's just plan your poses. It's really simple. I used to get the schedule, and I used to write the poses next to my photo, next to where my photos are scheduled. You know, back-to-backs are pretty good. You could just ask for a hug. I wouldn't recommend asking to be lifted up. Only because, and I'm not really sure, because obviously when you're in the queue you only see 30 photos in front of you, possibly less. So I don't have much experience on what photos, but I don't know, I just don't think it's a good idea to ask a guest to lift you up, even if it's someone as strong as Jared Padalecki, because it can give people behind you ideas, and they're like, oh, I want him to lift me up. And so the next person asks him to lift up, next person, not necessarily, but it could. And, you know, they're probably not going to appreciate having to lift up loads of people, just because other people keep seeing them being lifted up, and they're like, I want to be lifted up too. I don't think it's a good idea. Do ask for a creative pose, but just bear in mind, like I said before, there are time constraints. Don't ask for something that's going to be ridiculous and might take a while. Just, you know, jazz hands, or bite me, or smite me, or something, you know, something that's really simple that can just be done quickly. Lifting up probably might take a while, and you never know. I don't know, I'm just saying. Don't take your photo op opportunity. What? Don't take your photo op as an opportunity for you to get a cheeky little feel in there. It's not funny, it's not big, it's not clever. You might think, oh yeah, it's really awesome because I touched their ass. It's not funny at all, and it's not an achievement. It's just creepy and wrong. And I remember at Asylum of Twilight 3, Jamie Campbell Bower was actually groped by some girls. I wasn't there when it happened, but a lot of people were talking about it, and for a lot of photos afterwards he did look quite uncomfortable. So, you know, the guests are there to have fun with you guys. They're there to, you know, meet the fans. They're not there to be groped. They're not there to be touched. Even if it's a little cheeky little touch on their bum, that's just don't go there. Autographs. Do tell them that you like their work, or that they've affected you in some way, and how they have. You know, if I can actually talk when I meet Jared and Misha, I'm planning on telling them that, you know, they've helped me a lot and that they mean a lot to me. But the reason, you know, the fact that I'm really, really nervous already is the reason why I've written a letter, so then I can give it to them. But, yeah, you know, if you like them in whatever film they were in, if you liked Jared and Gilmore Girls, tell him. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. But yeah, just, you know, you can make conversation with them. They are people too. But like I keep saying over and over again, there are time constraints. You can't have a massive full-blown conversation. Just, you know, keep it short and sweet. Don't get to the desk unprepared. Don't be like, don't get to the desk and be like, oh, what am I getting signed? What am I getting? Oh, where's my ticket? Don't. This didn't happen at Twilight conventions, but that's probably because I've been prepared anyway. But at Rogue conventions, apparently, if you get to the front of the queue and you do not have anything ready, you'll be sent to the back to basically sort yourself out. So, you know, I don't think you want to start queuing all over again. So I think, you know, make sure you have what you're getting signed, photo, you know, your autograph tickets, and you know everything that you need to show that you're having 1, 2, or 5, or however many autographs you're having. Yeah, because it'll be really annoying if you wait in the queue for ages, you get to the front of the queue, and you get sent back. Do bring a gift. I know the guests do like gifts. Just take into account that, you know, they only have so much space in their luggage. Don't go getting a massive teddy bear for Thomas Padalecki. They're not going to have the space. It means they're probably going to have to pay extra in their baggage charges, and I don't know if that's charged to them or to Rogue, and either way I don't think they really want that to happen. Yeah, don't get massive presents. You know, a letter will be fine. I'm sure they can fit them in somewhere, but you know, don't start, you know, spending hundreds on them either, because chances are they might have to leave them at the hotel. They probably might not be able to take them with them, so just, you know, be careful, and don't bring food. I don't think Rogue allows you to give them food, though I have heard that people have said they've brought gummy bears for Misha and for Jared, so I don't really know, but I'm sure I saw somewhere you're not supposed to bring food, but maybe they allow gummy bears because they know they love them. I don't know, that one you'll have to probably ask someone else. I probably should have looked it up before I did this video. I don't think Jared / Thomas or any of the Padalecki family need any more moose toys, because I swear they will probably have a lot of those. And yeah, possibly sheep for Shepherd. I don't know. I haven't seen anyone give sheep for Shepherd. Don't worry. I know that's really easier said than done, and I know I'm going to be worrying, but you know, it'll be okay afterwards. You'll probably get to the front of the queue, you'll talk, and you'll be like, what was I worried about? Honestly, what was I worried about? So, you know, if you think about it that way, it might feel better, but I'm not sure. You never know. But I know that most of the time I get really, really nervous. I get to the front of the queue, I say maybe something or maybe nothing at all, and then I'm just like, well, what was I worried about? I mean, then I probably regret that I didn't say anything. Do have a rough idea of what you're going to say. I know a lot of people do say they plan things to say and then they never say it, but I think that's more when people actually, like, you know, they memorise a freaking monologue to tell them. If you just want to sort of think of a few things you want to say, like, I like you in this, you've really helped me out here, like that. Like, just stuff like that, because that means you're less likely to get to the front of the queue and then completely sort of fluster around forgetting what you want to say, and then, you know, then that's it, the moment's over, you've missed your chance to tell them whatever you wanted to say. But also, if you think that you'll be too shy to say anything or something like that, then write them a letter like I did. No guarantee they'll actually keep the letter forever and ever, but, you know, they might read it, and that's what I'm hoping with Misha and Jared. Don't be ashamed if you cry or freak out in front of them. Like I've said in my tips video, they are probably so used to it. I mean, I haven't actually cried in front of anyone yet, but I'm really scared that I'm going to cry in front of Misha or Jared or everyone. But, you know, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You can't just stand there, like, trying not to cry, because that'll probably make you look a bit weird anyway. So, if you cry, it just shows how excited you are and how much they mean to you. And so it's probably quite flattering. And like I've said, they're really probably used to it. I've heard a lot of people saying, you know, Misha is really good with everyone, even the people who are, like, you know, really anxious and crying, and I'm sure Jared's the same, and I'm sure Jensen's the same. So, yeah, don't worry about it. They will not think you're weird for crying. They're probably very used to it. Queuing, like the British. Do talk to others and make friends. I said this in my tips video. Even if you've made friends beforehand, it's really nice to meet other people in the queues. I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I've never really done it myself, but I don't know, I think the atmosphere is slightly different at Supernatural conventions than it is in Twilight ones, because, well, we never really did it with the Twilight ones. A lot of people kept to themselves and the friends they knew. Either that or I was just really shy. Don't try and jump the queue. You'll just make a lot of enemies and people disliking you, and you could possibly get in trouble with the whole organisers. So, you know, best not to risk it. And I know that a lot of people will be like they'll be really excited and they really want to meet that person right now, but everyone else in the queue is too, and you know, you could be trying to skip to where a group is that you're not even, you know, it's a group that have been called before you anyway, and they've probably been queuing for longer than you, so basically they're gonna dislike you. Do cooperate with the stewards, it's a really important one. You know, they're only there to, you know, make sure everything's orderly, everything's running smoothly, making sure that everyone's safe. If they tell you to get out of the way and stop blocking the hall, you stop blocking the hall, because, you know, there are other people at the convention and the hotel generally who will want to get past, and so if you're blocking the hallways, it's just making sort of a health and safety risk and stuff like that. If you're queuing too early, then stop queuing and wait. You know, don't argue. If you're told to do something, just do it. They will have a good reason for it. If you really, really don't want to do it, then tell them, but most likely you'll still have to do it anyway, unfortunately. So, yeah. Don't block the hallways, as I just said. It can be a health and safety risk, especially if you're sitting down. The corridors in the Hilton, particularly, aren't very wide. You could probably just about fit a sort of row of people on either side, next to, you know, against every wall, and you can probably just about fit everyone there, and there'd be a bit of space to get past. But, you know, don't sit in the middle of the hall, and don't, you know, I've heard that rogue events have a lot of hug the walls. We didn't have that. We sort of just got told, go closer to the wall. It's not half as fun. Do be patient. You are going to meet them eventually. If you're in the queue, then you're going to meet them. Simple as. The only time you have to worry is if if something's clashing and you think you're going to miss both. But even then, you can ask someone and they will sort it out for you, and you know, they'll make sure that you don't miss anything. I hope these do's and don'ts were helpful. I don't know if they're sort of just repeating everything you already know, but these are what I could come up with and things like that. So this is probably really long and I'm really sorry. Next week I am away in Edinburgh, actually, so there won't be a video Friday, but I'll try really, really hard to get it done for Thursday before I go, because I still want to do a 2 weeks to Asylum 12 video. So yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next week. I think the 1 week to Asylum 12 I'm going to be doing packing, because that is, well, when I'll be packing. So yeah, I might do my idea that, well, Sophie's idea that I'm also going to do next week, because I won't have time to do it when I'm also doing packing. So, bye!